1200 HP. You're so much more impactful, and it's allowing MINESKI to always win even-numbered trades around the map. If they have 2 heroes in a lane and Secret has 2 heroes in a lane, they're going to have the edge, and it puts the impetus on Secret to make plays just to equalize things.
Yeah, I don't know what impetus means, but I will say the one thing that I do know is, Kyle, you basically said in that first game, MINESKI won. They won, but they still get the L. There's one opening where all of a sudden we see Team Secret come through and grab the win. MINESKI is looking hot here. Are we going to see the upset? We're about to find out as we jump into this game that will decide it all in this series.
Team Secret versus MINESKI. Game 3.
The DPC champions and the last best hope of the SEA region. Team Secret and MINESKI have already delivered one of the most memorable series in the history of the International, and we are moments away from the deciding game. Winner moves on, loser goes home. Our panel talked a lot about the lanes in the last part of that discussion. Do you feel like that's got to be the focal point here in this draft, especially for Secret?
Yeah, in both the games, like they said, the early game was so bad for Secret. They were down, against an ALK. They get last pick ALK. They try to respond with a Meepo. The Meepo doesn't even lane that well against ALK. He has Acid Spray. And in the next game, they pick Storm and they get Lina. So I think the mid is the most important matchup for this game. I think mid one needs to get this hero that he is confident on in the lane and make sure Moon doesn't get this 10th pick Lina that's just gonna 90-10 you.
Yeah, I agree with Bunner. Like these teams, both MINESKI and Secret, their mid player is their tempo controller. We have Moon on this favorable like Lina, DP, Ember, Tiny that creates tempo. So does mid one. Mid one's favorite heroes, Ember, Kunkka, Tiny, like those tempo controlling heroes. If they lose the lane, the side lanes can get a lot of pressure. Even if the side lanes win, though, it's gonna just tilt over to their favor.
Right,
whoever wins the mid.
You're talking about the importance of the side lane. Koss brought up that point that we had 2 tier 1 towers taken by MINESKI before the 8-minute mark, practically at the same time. That's the first time that we've seen something like that happen, I believe, in this entire tournament. And that really catapulted MINESKI into the mid game here. It almost felt like Secret wasn't even going to make a game of it.
I think it was mostly because of mid. A lot of what these teams do, if you watch Secret when they were rolling a lot of tournaments, mid one would play like a Monkey King, for example. And if you watch this early game, Secret do a lot of lane swaps. Once they feel like this hero, Monkey King or whatever in this example, is really strong, they're going to rotate it to their safe lane, where there's going to be a lot of pressure from the opposing team. And Nisha will now take this mid lane, which was already won by his team, and he's going to be able to kind of sit there and farm and catch back up there. And now mid one's kind of relieving the pressure. But in the last 2 games, mid one was under pressure. His safe lane was under pressure. They had no one to rotate and alleviate that pressure as the strong hero.
I also want to note that Secret had a lot of late game heroes that game. It was uncharacteristic of them, I think. Storm, Magnus, P8, all those 3 heroes, they don't provide anything to the team when the other team pushes, So I think that's why we saw that picture of the both side lanes getting pressured at the same time.
Absolutely. Do want to give a quick shout out. It was a defeat, but YapzOr in that last game, 6-5 and 22 on that Rubik, in on all 28 Secret kills in that game. His damage was number 2 behind only that PA, and that Rubik is still on the table in the first phase here for Secret.
I can see them taking it on the 10th pick, depending on the next 2 heroes. As well, they have this Tiny, right? So this Tiny's open. So
Absolute
they can kind of like not have to feel forced to pick the Rubik now. They can take it into the second phase because the other team also doesn't want to ban a Rubik in second phase.
Absolutely.
So you're going to have a little opening in the draft.
And that's one thing that if you compare Secret's drafting from the group phase when they were winning to when they started struggling, they have been picking YapzOr as hero in the first phase almost exclusively, which is not something that they did a lot previously in the season.
I think like the first 2 games, Secret won the first game, but the quality of the game, it felt like Secret lost. So I feel like they're kind of changing things up a little and they're not giving him the Rubik. Maybe they listened to the panel and like they felt that Tiny like on potato like did too much. So maybe they're picking it for YapzOr.
The one nice thing I like about Team Secret's new bans are they banned the Enchantress. So I think that was one of the big issues with the second game for MINESKI. They have this Enchantress, and he kind of crushes this offlane for MINESKI. So now they're going to have to kind of dig into their bag, breach out another lane-winning offlaner for KP, Like we said, one of his classics is Enigma. They really like him on a position 3 Enigma. He gets to deny creep every wave, but they're going to go back to the classic.
And Wraith King is a hero that, Febby, you mentioned coming into the series that you thought was potentially a key for Mineski. But Secret are going to come back with this Omni Knight pretty good to me against this open both heroes of Mineski.
Yeah.
One downside of Omni Knight is it heavily lacks lane push, which Wraith King is very good at. So Team Secret is going to have to pick a lot of lane push. Because I know Mineski Mushi, I've been playing with him for a few times, and he, as a coach of Mineski, I'm sure like he's telling his game plan is all about pushing lanes.
So one of the cool things about this Omni is some teams run it as a 5 as well. So right now, their 2 heroes are kind of flex picks. They can be the Tiny can be mid, offlane or 4. The Omni can be offlane or 5. But the one thing to note is that mostly when people talk about Secret and their flex picks, they're flex picks to the outside. They're not flex picks on the inside.
Yeah.
So Puppy has this plan. He says, we're picking this Omni, and this Omni is going to be our 5. You know, and this Tiny is going to be our mid. And he has this like complete idea. And they can kind of change it. You know, if this Tiny gets really hard countered, they'll put it as support. Same with the Omni, right? But unless the hero gets hard countered, he has a kind of set plan, and he wants to kind of move towards that plan and draft around his idea of the game.
Absolutely. And we talked so much about that as the defining characteristic of Puppy. He is the lightning rod. He is the guy that takes it all on his shoulders. And time again, he's delivered, just not yet at TI.
Yeah, it seems like with an OD ban and Omni at their arsenals, Team Secret is going to pick something really aggressive for mid one. Something like Slark, Monkey King, those hyper-aggressive heroes that can be at your face.
Mineski banning the Broodmother and the Bat Rider. They're kind of trying to protect their safe lane and their mid with those 2 bans. And they pick a AA. That's a kind of classic combo with the Wraith King. People were picking it a patch ago. You can get a cold feed off and then a stun from the Wraith King. The hero's usually going to get stunned at the end. You have a lot of magic damage with your Ogre in the mid to late game, so just a nice, stable hero.
The other thing about the AA pick here is it really deters. If Secret were looking at the Alchemist, that's probably a deterrent for them. And remember, the game 1 draft, Mineski did run the Wraith King in the first phase along with the 5th pick out.
Do you think it'd be too crazy that they still out?
That's what I'm saying. I think Mineski...
No.
Oh, Secret. Oh, man, I don't know. That's part of the problem is that, you know, Mid One has had such a tough time in this tournament. I really worry about picking him a hero that's potentially going to be in real trouble if he gets frostbitten in these fights. But I do like the ET pickup here. It does reveal a little bit more about the roles, right? But this is a hero that, again, we mentioned this hero's record in the early game of this tournament, 17-5 in games that end at the 35-minute mark or earlier. That is Secret's sort of pressure release valve if Mineski play this early game run at Udota again.
The way I could see Secret kind of turning this draft is if they're confident with the Alkir, they can put it in their safe lane. They can run this ET, he'll kind of protect the Alchemist, and they do have Heavenly Grace for the AO. It's going to reduce it by 50%. Instead of, you know, being like a 12 seconds, it'll only be 6 seconds of not healing. They can kind of disengage with the GA as well. So in the Echo Stomp, so they're going to have a couple ways to kind of play the fight back. I'd be a little scared if I was Mineski of an Elk right now.
All right, we're waiting on the 4th pick here of Secret. Febby, man, how do you block it all out? Because the first 2 games of this series have been as crazy, I think, as any games that I've seen this year. You know, maybe going back quite a few. And you've got to refocus here. All 10 of these players. Oh, my Lord. That is not what I... Okay, that's throwing me for a loop. Do you like this Void pick?
It is not good against Wraith King and Rasta, but it is good with ET.
It's also not good against AA. You won't heal when you get ulted by the AA. Maybe they heard the fans. The fans really like big team fights. They like the big chronos. They now have, you know, GA to turn a fight, look cool. They have, you know, Earth Splitter. They have this cool Chronosphere. So maybe Secret's doing this for the fans. I'm a little concerned of the Void versus Wraith King matchup, though.
I think Team Secret needs more damage. And DP doesn't look too good, too, because they have AA on Mineski's side. And AA is pretty good against DP.
You need something, a ranged hero 5th pick to just dump damage into that Chronosphere. You talk about the sniper still on the board. The OD, they banned themselves.
They need a lot of stuff right now on Team Secret.
Yeah,
they lack wave push too. Void Omni doesn't push out waves that well.
Core Invoker?
Yep. Mid Invoker.
Yeah.
Gets banned.
I mean, it's one of his bet. Yeah, there you go. It's one of his best heroes on his career.
They could still do Tiny mid. I would be really scared of their damage, though. I think they are forced to put this Tiny as a 4 now because of the
I
Wraith King. So they need a mid 1 hero. They're going to ban as well, a mid hero from MINESKI. They're really scared of him from Moon getting this like last pick. So they're going to try to find a hero in the draft that fits them and only is going to have 1 hard counter that they can ban out.
One good thing that Secret have going for them is the team fight. MINESKI's heroes, they're all single targets. So I think MINESKI will kind of want to split them and dodge them, play this like cat and mouse sort of game, and try to go late game. While Secret wants to like use their big team fights. Omni wants to fight early, even if there's an AA on the other side of the team.
When you look at mid one's hero pool, the heroes that come up that aren't banned still on the board here: Ember Spirit, Templar Assassin.
I'm looking at if of either of those, it's more the Ember, I think. He's going to have Heavenly Grace, so he's going to be able to go in on the supports and kill the supports. Save this Chrono more for the core, the Wraith King.
Could just Storm again.
Yeah, they could Storm. I think it's okay with the Grace, but it's also really scary against these instant hexes that are built into your heroes. It's you're much more like confident going on it when you force the enemy to build Sheeps to try to protect their cores, or build Yules to just Yules the Storms and try to like have to be forced to defend themselves from the Storm. When the supports have built-in ways to defend against him, this Wraith King's gonna have bolts, so it's like you have to burn a lot of mana to kill him the first time. It's a little scary for them. And they're gonna ban the Elk. They're still scared of getting last picked Elks. No, I would be too.
Yeah, they're traumatized from the first game.
Coming into this 5th pick, do you feel like Secret's lanes are stronger in this game? Are we going to be able to hold up to the pressure better than we did in games 1 and 2?
I think so. The ET is one of the strongest laning supports right now. His Astral Spirit gives him armor, gives him moves, he gives him damage.
Oh, the Yapsor Rubik once again. Sorry, buddy, go ahead.
So it's mid-tiny.
Yeah, mid-tiny.
So MINESKI's going to know that. They're going to be probably going to pick more of a strength hero. Maybe some hero that's going to build like 1-2 bracers, even if they go agility or int hero. Once the main issue with Tiny as a core that was in previous patches was that people would build bracer and his combo wouldn't kill you anymore. And when Tiny blinks in on a core and his combo doesn't kill them, his fight feels really awkward. He's a slow hero. He's tanky, but now he's committed to 4 or 5 heroes, and they're going to be able to disengage, stun him, and keep following it up.
I'm kind of worried for Secret's lanes again because, I thought the Tiny was going to be a 4, but right now their side lanes don't look so hot.
Yeah.
Especially the Void lane is going to suffer.
Death Prophet's a really nice pick versus the Tiny and the Omni and the ET. It's whenever there's a bunch of strength heroes, DP is one of the heroes you think of like Timbersaw. The Spirit Siphon's going to do more the more HP people have. Tiny, he gets a crazy amount of HP really early in the game. He has a really high strength gain. He goes Echo Saber, might go BKB. The Spirit Siphon's going to heal up the Death Prophet, and he is the AA, so he doesn't have to be worried about getting his healing stopped. The only issue with it is that if this Death Prophet gets chronoed, he can't be bursted.
Exactly. All right. Well, we are headed to a deciding Game 3 in one of the most thrilling series of the event. But first, here's Casey with a coach interview.
Yeah, we got Sembi here. This has been a crazy, crazy series. We've enjoyed watching it. Also, the drafts have been interesting, too. From mid one, Meepo, we have Yapsor Rubik. How much has the draft made a part in how your play has been?
I have no idea how to answer that. I really don't. I mean, draft is obviously very important. I think the first game, I'm not sure if we were so happy with the outcome of our draft. Second game, we were more happy, but we couldn't secure the game. Third game, we feel pretty confident. Hopefully we can pull through. Rob a game if we can. See what happens.
What's the mood in the pod like right now?
Angry.
Really?
Oh, it's good. It's good. Angry's good. We want to win. Angry, hey, we need to take this. It's ours to take. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Back to you guys, but I do want to say, Capitalists and Blitz, will you guys please stop throwing water around? Did we get you a change of shirts, Cap?
No change of shirts. It's actually just completely dried out. We'll cast in any conditions, Casey. We're like postmen in that regard. But I just want to say, Dota is such a wonderful game, and what truly makes it great is the people. It's the people in this competition, the players in the booth, the homeless man behind the wall behind me. Whatever it is, that's what makes Dota the best esports in the world. Let's get hype for Game 3 of MINESKI versus Team Secret.
Oh, this is quickly becoming a classic.
I'll be honest with you. I didn't go into this series thinking it was going to be a classic.
Dude, I didn't either. I'm going to be 100% real with the audience. I thought this was going to be a stomp. I genuinely thought Mineski, I was like, all right, like, what am I going to do with all this time I have?
You barely managed to beat Na'Vi. Team Secret barely lost to EG. Transitive Property says Team Secret's going to blow you out.
Yeah, you're going to get worked. But that's what makes TI, it's the best.
It's the best.
There's nothing else like it. This needs, 100 TIs. Just keep it coming.
TIs every day. Every day of the year.
Me and my kid are going to be watching TI one day. Oh, it's going to be wonderful.
Okay. We started off this series.
They just high-fived.
As we implied. Oh, that's cute. As we implied, we thought Secret was going to beat MINESKI. And we started off that series introing saying, hey, this is a David versus Goliath matchup, and no better time for TI for you to be David and slay the giant.
Yes.
And now, after game one should have gone the way of MINESKI, now, after they do manage to clinch game two, is MINESKI the Goliath? Is Secret the David all along?
I will say that MINESKI, in this two-game series that we've seen so far, they've been the better team for about 95% of the series.
Yes.
And the fact that it's 1-1, if you're MINESKI and you end up losing this best of three, it'll haunt you forever. This would have been one of the greatest what could have been situations. And for Secret, you'll take those wins.
Oh, yeah.
You will take that game one and you'll say, we got away with it. And maybe this is the wake-up call that they need, that they're not invincible, that they can't overlook anybody. Such a big game for both teams.
And that's what I love about Dota, is all the emotions that go into it. We heard Sunbeat. What do you guys, what's the mood in the booth? Everybody expected to hear,
it's good.
It's solemn, we're good, we're calm, we're laughing about it. We're going to get this game three. No, we're angry.
Yeah.
We're pissed off. We're Team Secret, goddammit, and we're supposed to be beating MINESKI. And we're going to see how that anger translates into the game and how they're able to make their way through this laning phase, as we have Moon versus Mid1 in the mid lane, Death Prophet versus Tiny. Certainly an opportunity for Mid1 to take his aggression out on the MINESKI players with this kind of tempo mid.
This is where star performances are born. We can forget the other two games. The fans can forgive your other two performances if you clutch it out in this game number 3 as this Tiny. I feel like I've just, I'm beating a dead horse, but at this point, Mid1, you have to show up. He got out damage dealt by a Rubik last game. Yapzor almost carried that game for his team. It doesn't matter, though. You only need one to look good.
KP is going to be playing the Ogre. Core Ogre at top lane with Raging Potato, babysitting him on the Shadow Shaman, Nisha Faceless Void. This time, he's going to be the one trying to get all the clutch Chronospheres instead of Nico Baby. And they're running it with an Omni Knight as well, looking to shore up their team fight as much as possible. That's what it really looks like to me. MINESKI, meanwhile, fast-paced lineup with plenty of push power.
Yeah, and I actually really like Secret's draft. I think that they have the late game. They have really strong heroes at just running at you. I could very easily see them just take a lead and never let it go. Because I feel like when it comes to the 5-on-5 team fights, if they can get the jump on this DP, there's no real save for her.
Yeah, that is very scary. She does have great frontliners in her two cores of the Wraith King and the Ogre, but if Secret can get around those heroes, if they get on top of Moon.
And so far in this mid lane, relatively even, but Moon has outplayed Mid1. But this could be it, Cap. I can't stress that enough. All it takes is one game. History only remembers the winners.
That's true. 14-6, 12-4 so far. Team Secret are walking away from the laning phase with a pretty good CS lead between two of their cores. The Faceless Void, though, is having a rough one. 4-1 right now, really being shut down by this aggro dual lane from MINESKI.
Yeah, this is a great situation for the Ogre. You can trade easily. Secret have two different heroes, Cap, that are meant to just win one-on-one fights.
Yeah.
And this is not the case right now, as the Ogre can bully you out. The Shaman can go toe-to-toe with the Elder Titan. You can see that Raging Potato is actually using Puppy's creeps to farm up the neutrals.
And Puppy, he's trying to do something about it. They're going to man fight a little bit, but one last shot from Fable. Can it stop the damage? It's not enough. Raging Potato gets the first blood. His life will be traded away very likely here as he cannot run far enough.
KP
away
thought
from
about
Nisha.
throwing out the Fire Blast, but doesn't think it's worth it for the mana, and he would be completely correct. The trade-off, though, is that the Omni Knight at bottom, this hero just seems to win lane after lane. It's so hard to deal with him when you have this low damage support 5,
Yeah.
and you have no way to immediately burst him from the get-go. I think if you can't set the line immediately, this lane just completely goes in Omni Knight's favor at some point.
It's also a lot about the Heavenly Grace Dispel, right? Like once the enemy team has picked up their 5 position, if it has an ability that you can kind of deal with, like the Cold Feet, for example, or this Raid Fire Blast, the damage over time that happens, you're going to be able to purge most of that off, get yourself a heal, and it's like the attacks never even happened. Raging Potato, 5-minute bounty runes are about to spawn. That's why Yapzor and Puppey are both here. KP, though, pulling some of the creeps with him. He wants to challenge. Raging Potato's going to walk back with him. 2 versus 2 over the bounty runes. How's Puppey going to take this one? He's going to try and go for the stomp.
No, he's going to take way too much damage for it. No, he's actually going to go for it indeed.
Stomp misses. KP. Telekinesis isn't there. Mid one's actually going to be able to grab the bounty rune. As he shows up with the bottle, and Zai actually manages to get the other side. So that's going to be 3 for Team Secret. MINESKI were the ones who actually had the better bounty rune control the entire time last game. And I think the game prior.
And that's going to give them a little bit of a gold lead. Pretty negligible, though, at 5 minutes. And we've seen what these two teams look like. It's one of those interesting situations where you never know how somebody's going to match up. Maybe MINESKI just matches up really well against Secret. And that's why we have the sort of series that we're having right now.
Zai, level 5 already. We've seen the power of this Omni Knight before, and this kind of like very aggressive lineup of MINESKI, like being repelled by an Omni Knight, just being frustrated, not being able to get that kill that you started off on. That's certainly going to cause a lot of issues for MINESKI.
Yeah, it's similar to game number 1 where MINESKI, in fact, had the Omni Knight. They just weren't able to bully him out. If you can't do it from the get-go, your odds just decrease so dramatically.
But that's where that Ancient Apparition Ice Blast has to come in clutch, right?
Yeah, but you can just get pipe, I feel like, on Omni.
Yeah.
Isn't that what you would do as on the off lane?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. In this kind of game?
Yeah, you just get pipe, and all of a sudden it's the same situation because they have so much magic damage.
KP going to be pulled back potentially into his doom here, but he's
not
so
dying.
damn tanky.
Let me tell you,
Bottom lane, instead, that's maybe the off-laner that dies. This time the Cold Feet does actually latch.
it's so funny that you see Omni Knight die, and you watch an Ogre just kind of walk it off.
Yep. The chainstones are good enough for MINESKI, and with these skeletons pushing in, also just tanking up the tower shots, that's going to lift the siege wagon, do tons of damage.
This is the same rotation he made last game, and this is a big rotation for them.
And they're going to try and rush a defense here from Zai, but he's going to TP in. Is he going to be in trouble here? Have the Grace on him is going to slow down a lot of these disables.
But they're protecting the catapult, and that's what's important. That's why mid ones also come in for this. Last game, he didn't make this defense. This game, I think they understand how important this tower is.
The siege wagon dies, and the tier 1 tower does not fall. Moon could have used Exorcism to finish off that tower when he first showed up, but he thought the siege wagon was good enough. He thought it was free.
And that's Secret. They're a veteran team cap. They're making those adjustments. They realize Moon's play. I think he was anticipating that top push, but because so many teams are doing it, he's just sort of going for the play that Secret doesn't expect. No one's really assaulted Secret's offlane tower before like that.
Especially once you give, like, Zai has a good lane, but a rotation like that shuts him down. If they'd caught him again that second time when he TP'd under tower.
Oh, that ruins his game, and they might even go for it here.
They try. Moon's going to show up, hits him with the nuke. Looking to be able to slow him down with the Spirit Siphon. Zai, the Heavenly Grace, protecting him a bit right now, but Nico Baby has another round of stuns coming in. The Crypt Swarm's not going to be good enough, and they don't want to dive the tower. MINESKI, this is what we're talking about in trying to go for these kills and not quite getting it, not getting the kill.
Look at this tempo.
The
Look at this tempo.
Oh,
They're going to TP top and just go for it right after. And this is how you alleviate pressure from this bottom lane for Nico, baby. If you can't do it in one lane, do it in another.
Can Zai get there in time? He's just about to get back to the base. He's going to have a TP scroll soon. Nisha's going to be stunned up, fire blasted. They do have the Hex. That's going to be enough to be able to get the kill onto Nisha. And this exorcism will be used to bring down a tower.
They're outpacing them right now.
Yeah.
This series, they're thinking 2 steps ahead. And Secret, their focus is on that bottom lane, but suddenly there's somebody top. And you don't even really want to dive this Wraith King because you know he's got ulti, he's got stick charges. If they can take this tower and defend, this would be such a huge boon for them.
Part of the reason
was used, though, by the DP.
Yeah. And that's going to be an opportunity, right? Team Secret, they're not going to be as cooldown dependent early game because their mid is a Tiny, who's always going to be ready to fight.
Yeah. But they don't want to trade this cap.
They do
this
not.
This tower is still healthy enough that you can bring heroes in and try to defend it, and it would extend your game so hard, but they might have no choice. This might be a little bit too late.
And that means that core rotation from KP kind of hurts them, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Now you've got 2 cores in the same side of the map.
So that's a win for Secret.
It's funny how in Dota you can have these little wins and losses without a hero kill actually happening, just purely due to things like positioning and rotations. 10-minute bounty runes are coming up, though, and we're going to see who out-positions the other. We've got Ninja Boogie. He's going to join them for this fight at bottom, but if he dies right away, Mid One knows he's here. He's trying to hide right now, but unfortunately it's going to be found. The Avalanche toss is going to be quite enough, but the Purification will get the kill. And that means they have to give up in these 2 bounty runes, which puts pressure on MINESKI to make the play top lane.
Oh, they're going to get all 4 of them, Cap.
But stop, Nisha. He's going to run to the other side. 4 bounties for Secret.
That's massive. Even though they're leading in kills 3-2.
Yeah, they've gotten over 1,500 extra gold off of the bounties on Team Secret's side.
That's the difference itself.
Yeah.
A Ice Blast going to come in, try to defend this mid tower. Yapsor stealing Bloodlust.
Good play. With the Siege Wagon hitting the tower, that's a few extra shots. Pulling the hard camp here. The Siege Wagon is up there. That means it's going to be a little bit delayed in its push forward. I wonder if MINESKI are going to try and make a play towards that top lane, or if we're just going to see them continue to farm up. Surely a more passive game is that to the favor of Team Secret because they have this void. Oh, they're actually going to go for the kill on his eye. The Ice Blast is there. Nico Baby holding on to that Rate Fire Blast. Tries to get a crit. Whiffs. Zai does manage to duke into the trees. They're going to spot him one more time now that the Heavenly Grace is on, and they do have the cold feet. They're going to try and chain the stuns here. The Purification going out. And, oh man, that status resistance just lets him do so much. But it looks like Nico Baby may just hit too hard. He's got a little bit of mana to be able to work with. Zai's trying to duke into the trees right now. Nico Baby gives up. Zai jukes it away and gets out by just the skin of his teeth.
And he is indeed going for the pipe. I feel like there's no better item choice for him at this point. I think what both teams have learned about it is it comes down to the team fights. A lot of the times in these matches, we just see one team rolls over another in the laning phase. But for these 2 teams, I mean, they know what the mid and the late game look like. Raging Potato likely to go down here. There's 2 cores up here. But in fact, they actually just retreat for it fully.
They don't actually have any aggressive vision on that side of the map, so maybe Secret just feeling like because they don't have vision of the Tier 1 tower, the Shrine, they don't know if these TP rotations are coming. We know that MINESKI is actually playing a little bit more passive, maybe in part because of the Hand of Midas that they have on the Wraith King, here. But the smoke up with Moon, they can play with that core. They're going to try and slow down Yapsor here, get him chain stunned. That's a kill. Is that a tower, though?
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, Mid One's here. They're going to be able to catch the Ancient Apparition. A pick off like that could mean more. Ninja Boogie dies, but the Exorcism being used.
I'd like them to drop the wards here.
They are going to drop the wards. They're going to be able to get vision of these who actually teleport in and get the chain stun. They do have the shackles. Where's the phone? The Fire Blast actually used on the Omni Knight. They just don't have Moon here to get the real damage. A 3-man silence. That's going to be a lot. With the Ray Fire Blast onto Tiny. Mid One down to half health already. The tower's taking up some damage as well. But Team Secret, they're healthy enough. They're going to go for the Chronosphere now into the Death Robin. Trying to nuke him down with it. He tosses up into the air. They're going to be able to finish off Moon. A good stomp comes out from Puppey as well. They're going to focus on KP. He's dead. Ice Blast on its way. Nico Baby on his first life is about to fall, and all of Secret very healthy, certainly healthy enough to bring down Nico Baby a second time. Team Secret hold their mid tower and repel MINESKI.
And they might even grab it themselves. The wards, the last of them about to fall. 4 heroes up here, Zai. You can see that he's just too strong of a force to be reckoned with at this point in the game. He allows Nisha to get in and out of those fights so cleanly. MINESKI's lineup in fact, feels a little bit greedy. AA as a support, you're so ulti reliant that you can't really quite get in there. Whereas in the backline, Puppy just kept throwing out stomp after stomp. It's a different beast entirely.
Their game is certainly a lot easier in some ways, right? With this mid-1 Tiny making these plays. You saw the way they just, Zai is forced to be fire blasted there. Otherwise, he would have saved Nisha.
The teamfight positioning feels really rough right there for MINESKI as well. It didn't really feel like they were half committing.
If Moon was able to actually follow up that Shadow Shaman play, get the silence onto the Omni Knight,
yes,
then maybe KP is able to fire blast down Nisha. There's no Chronosphere, and the fight looks a lot different.
And they just have so many tanky boys on the side of Secret. They've got 4 melee strength heroes, or 3, and a Void.
Zai. They do have the rotation coming in from the Shadow Shaman, so if he comes back, but they're spotted by the illusion. Nisha does deny the mid tower.
I don't really know what their solution is right now for Zai.
Yeah.
Feels like this is going to be an uphill battle for MINESKI. They just need more farm right now. And speaking of greedy, their Ogre's going to go for a Hand of Midas. Their Wraith King has a Hand of Midas. Their 2 supports are a little bit greedy. They're going to run into Zai here, who gets trapped for the time being. Phase boots his way through.
The last little bit of nukes, but it's not good enough. Zai, the Ice Blast wears off.
Yeah, he's further proving that point for me.
Yeah. I mean, he picked up the bounty route, too, by the way.
They use so much to try to grab him, but the status resistance in a game like this feels so value. Now, mid-1, he's got a fully completed Axe right now, Cap. He has...
Oof. We're seeing this Aghanim Scepter being picked up faster and faster for these Tinies. Can you explain some of that?
I just feel like it's a value item for Tiny. It makes you a teamfight beast. It solves a lot of your issues where, you know, oftentimes Tiny, he falls off because you have to go into melee range. And if you can't burst people down immediately, you just get kited. Well, this item makes it so it's really hard to kite.
Ice Blast just poking at him. Gets a little vision, sees what Secret's up to. They're going to stick around for this tier 2 push. If they're backing up, that means the push at top lane from MINESKI should be retreated as well.
Yeah. I will say in the previous 2 games, MINESKI had quite a bit of a lead going into this phase of the game.
Yeah.
I don't know what the game looks like when Secret finally has a post-laning phase lead.
There's something I want to talk about, though. This Wraith King, right? Traditionally, in many patches of the past, Wraith King's considered a early to mid-game carry.
Yes.
And with the Death Prophet, we're looking at, you know, trying to push down towers by 20 minutes, go high ground by 25, 30. A lot has changed for both of these heroes, particularly the Wraith King. We've seen a lot of these Hand of Midas Radiance build. Hector, especially from Infamous, has shown that Wraith King is no slouch late king. You can really push this hero to the limits. Is this just about, what is it about? It's about the Aghanim Scepter? Is it about talent changes? What is it?
I just feel like this hero is good against the other cores. Like, you never feel bad about having him frontline for you either. A lot of times in Dota, you saw in the game that we saw that just happened, when the Void goes in and he gets bursted down, you mess up the team fight, suddenly you've lost.
Yeah.
In this position, he's so forgiving to play.
So it's about ease of execution, and at TI, there's nothing more important, right?
He's so easy to work around. He dies once, you don't even feel that bad because it gives your team time to reposition themselves, whereas the enemy still has to clump around. The fact that the Wraith King, you've got to kill him twice.
Yeah.
It means that there's no mess-ups.
Well, there's that Aghanim Scepter from mid-1, pummeling KP with trees, and now it's going to get the tier 2 bottom tower.
If you build a BKB, you always have time to get the BKB on.
Yeah, that's true. Aghanim Scepter. Usually we've been seeing Echo Saber into Aghanim Scepter. Here, mid-1's going to go the other way around. I also think Aghanim's is a great farming tool. It's a real low cooldown, and you can just kind of freely use it in fights.
Oh, look at this, 20 minutes
push down lanes.
18 minutes. They're just kind of going for it right now. They've dealt a good amount of damage to this tower. Mid-1 is, we said, give us a star-making performance, bail your team out. So far, so good. 7 out of your 8 kills.
X, Raging Potato, I think he knows he's been caught, and he's just trying to stall things as much as possible so his Serpent Wards can actually get the kill on the tower, but sadly there's a glyph. And the glyph now, especially with the multi-shot, is so good at clearing out the creeps and defending.
Yeah, now this is just going to be food instead for Secret as they clear up all but one of those, I think.
Radiance
more
for
farm.
Moon. Death Prophet's another hero that can go late game a little bit better. The new Aghanim Scepter that was introduced for the hero, that's a core item.
The scary part for MINESKI is I don't know at what point in the game they're going to win this.
Yeah. I mean, if they're not winning it already, right?
Yeah, it feels a little bit scary right now.
Ninja Boogie.
I don't know if this is like an issue of pace.
Yeah.
Because I felt like previously they had heroes that could just run at you. And
Yeah.
Moon had some sort of hero that could just collapse on the side lanes. He could set a tempo. But in this game, it sort of feels like he has to be passive with his DP. It feels like they've gone a little bit away from the principles that led them to success in game number 1 and game number 2. And so now it becomes much more about this Raid King. Like in the previous game where Nisha had to be the main hero, I think Nico Baby so much rides on his shoulders.
20-minute bounties. Mid one free to push out bottom lane with his volley. Take control of those. MINESKI. Are they going to invade? Are they going to try and get more than just this one? It seems they're willing to concede all map control to Team Secret right now. They just know they're weaker than them. They have to ride the line. They have to rely on their carry. A man they brought in late into the DPC season, this Radiance. Can Nico Baby change the fate of MINESKI right now?
The good news for him is that he is good against the cores of Secret, aside from the Omni Knight.
Yeah.
Of course, he's going to always be able to survive out the Chrono. And more importantly, he doesn't get bursted by the Tiny. Both upsides for his hero. The only downside is that he's going to need help. If it means that he's, the Chrono doesn't do anything for him, Nisha's just going to say, I'm not going to Chrono you, I'm going to Chrono Moon every single time.
Yeah.
And that makes Moon's game so hard to play.
Is that why he's not, he hasn't actually queued up the Aghanim Scepter, which everyone goes after the Yule Scepter. Does he need, an early Aeon disc? Yeah.
That's
gonna
so bad.
Terrible.
I feel like you go Axe, and then you can go for the Aeon disc.
You just have to do it.
I'd sort of maybe even get the Shivas first. I would
Before the
kind of be
Aeon
okay.
disc?
Yeah, I'd be okay with that, but I do think you need an Aeon at some point.
Oh, he
Axe
goes
is gonna
Blink
go
instead.
Maybe he just wants to fight. They're going to get the Radiance timing, and maybe they just want to run in secret. That's how they want to come back into this game, rather than just pure farming.
I mean, the AoE silence can come in really clutch here against this Omni Knight, right? Because you always know the Omni Knight's going to be running forward to protect mid one, or to protect Nisha, who's been initiated on.
It's very good against the Faceless Void.
Yeah.
Nisha already has a BKB. That's so scary.
Means the silence is going to be very ineffective against him.
It also means that he's always going to get Chrono off.
Yeah.
Which is pretty disastrous for MINESKI.
Pretty much the only one who can stop that outcome is Raging Potato. And I just don't see him getting lasting shackles in these fights. He does have the Ether Lens, though.
He feels like he's paper.
Yeah.
And I would say that MINESKI would be all right, but I think this Omni Knight, I've been saying it from the beginning of the game, it might just prove to be too much. Gonna walk up the hill, but they don't have their Death Prophet here. Secret. Riding around their shrine, they've got the numbers advantage. The pipe has been used almost immediately. And Zai, he ends any thoughts of
Look
aggression.
at him. He just doesn't care about you. Raging Potato does manage to get the Hex off. There's the Avalanche. The Ice Blast is coming in. They do manage to get the Guardian Angel. That will help protect mid one. Here comes Yapzors, but it doesn't actually nail a whole lot. That's going to be the Ogre going down. Nico Baby still trying to focus on mid one because they have in the Grace. Mid one is actually going to be fine here. Now we have the Exorcism out. Yapzor does manage to force snap down to the low ground. Moon pursuing, trying to get another Spirit Siphon, this time on mid one. Can they actually take down this Tiny? Well, they've already lost most of their support. Chronosphere catching them just on the side. Mid one tries to get away of the Tree Ball route, and now the Death Prophet's dead. Nico Baby comes back with his second life, slowed down, and this is going to be the second team fight.
Now he's here to die.
It's Team Secret absolutely outclassed MINESKI and almost wiped them.
Zai's still chasing. He wants the full team wipe. They're going to extend their lead 7K. The Blink Dagger, I feel like, just doesn't really do anything for you. It helps you evade some situations, and what they want to do is get on top, and I would agree if the Void didn't have such a fast BKB, and if you weren't playing against Heavenly Grace. You fulfill those two conditions, maybe you're all right. But as it stands, And they're trying to do what they did last game, which is take these mid-game fights, push in for the towers, but they don't have the firepower. They don't have the heroes.
Yeah. You see that team fight again. They thought they just had the burst damage, but a fast Guardian Angel coming out from Zai was so key. It slows down the damage that Nico Baby was putting on a mid one, and then he just doesn't get enough. The Ice Blast wears out about right now.
Yeah, if mid one dies in that position, maybe the Void doesn't have enough damage because he only has a Maelstrom.
I mean, the Yapster just barely died there. He almost got the Tiny as well, but Nisha being able to get that Chronosphere, he held it for so long too. He read that the fight was going to go their way without it. He only used it once mid one really, or excuse me, Moon really committed to that fight. There's now a Mjolnir for Nisha. MINESKI.
There's his damage.
Twice now they've been repelled by Team Secret. At some point in time, you're going to have to start thinking about an exit plan, a plan B. What are you going to do with this game threatening to go late?
Yeah. Plus, I feel like in the previous two games, MINESKI had the vision advantage every single time.
Yeah.
They de-warded so many different wards. In this game, that top ward saw them coming the entire time, so they knew to be set up for the fight. Small mistake is Secret did not end up denying that top tower, which only had 20 HP. And this is going to secure them 2 bounty runes. I mean, they haven't gone 2 bounty runes in such a long time. Boon's going to go for the plate mail and the Ags, both items that I advocated for. I wanted to see the Ags first into the Shivas, but he opts to go for the plate mail.
Yeah. Just a little bit of help. I mean, it is a lot of physical damage.
Yeah, I like the casual plate mail.
Yeah, with the volley build coming out from mid one, like he actually has to worry about the physical damage coming from the Tiny, not from the Faceless Void. Because Void's got a very magic damage heavy build. Mjolnir and his bashes, that's most of his damage right now.
Very true, Cap.
5-14, a 7,000 net worth lead for Team Secret. We have not seen them have this kind of lead once in this series. It's only until this game 3 they get mad, and they are just not letting MINESKI get any openings here.
One thing, though, is throughout the season, when Secret has any sort of lead, they just sort of go for it. They take fights nonstop, but I think they've sort of developed like this mutual respect. Secret is saying, like, MINESKI, you're a good team. You can hang with us. Let's not just throw.
Yeah. The Raging Potato jumping forward. They're going to try and blow up Yapzor. That is a target you can certainly burst down.
That's like
mid
the
one.
easiest target.
Mid one, he's hard, but Yapzor, that's easy.
And he's got a BKB mid one. I love when your cores still go BKB when you've got an Omni Knight. I feel like it's the worst thing in the world when you purely rely on your Omni to save you in those situations. It makes it so hard because then he has like 4 different heroes he has to constantly save. Every BKB that comes out makes Zai's life easier.
You're one of the biggest BKB enthusiasts that I know. You always say you have a lead, secure it with a BKB.
Yeah. What's the point of having 10k net worth if you don't have a BKB?
Yeah.
You get Hex once, your 10k net worth.
It's gone. You just die. Just like that. So how much gold was Yapzor worth? I remember saying this was a 7,000 net worth lead. Now it's only 5k.
Dude, he was worth a lot. Their A is worth 2,800, and Ninja Boogie's like most expensive item is his Quelling Blade. Life's been hard for him. That's his luxury item right now.
Raging Potato's done a good job of keeping pace with Yapzor. In fact, we're pretty much core for core until it comes to the difference between our Death Prophet and mid one's Tiny.
Yeah, mid one still unblemished, 5-0-6. I mean, he's no.
How do you push into that?
You don't.
Yeah.
You, if I'm straight up honest, you don't.
MINESKI. It seems to be their turn to sit back. Still got it.
The crowd like that.
Oh, yeah. I mean, an attack, a projectile like Death Prophet's it's not fast. It does that little swirly animation as it makes its way
We're
to
getting
its
a team
target.
fight here.
KP, he's going to be slowed down. Fire Blast onto the Void, trying to slow down the damage. There goes the Heaven of the Grace. Ninja Boogie's already dead from mid one. He managed to get the initiation onto him at the same time they were going on KP. So that's 2 dead already. But mid one, they're actually going to go for this one, threatening the Chronosphere. Moon does manage to get outside of it. Guardian Angel will protect him against this exorcism and the lockdown on Nico Baby. They're going to try and focus on Moon while they have Nico Baby just naturally die out. The Circle Wards are there, the BKB. They've almost finished off Moon. Their volley almost doesn't, but Death Prophet managed to survive off the Eul Scepter, and so instead, they're going for the Wraith King, who's had half health. They're trying to play around these swords as best as possible. Blink's
healing.
Going on the outsword. Spirit Siphon healing up. He managed to actually heal through all of that one, but Nisha's now locked him down. A ton of damage on Nisha. Quickly stopped by Zai, who gets out the Purification. KP, who came back into this fight, may just exit it just as quickly as Silence goes out. On to 4 from Moon. They go back into this one.
Yeah, Ice Blast.
Can they finish him off? He's dead, but the follow-up there comes out from the volley to be able to finish up Nico Baby. Moon, blast down Puppy.
They want
Jump
the team wipe.
forward. They're going to be able to get the Omni Knight. That's going to be a wipe. This time, Secret. They challenge Mineski. They say, we think we're stronger than you. Let's put it to the test. But the buybacks, that's what makes the difference. Mineski used 3 different buybacks, but it wins them the fight, and it just might win them Roshan.
They Rosh. If they could Rosh, this would make it worth it. If they can't, then all you really did was make it so that the fight went even. And they're going to ping into Roshan. They know it's up. I mean, it's not very quick, though, without the Wraith King. And Moon doesn't have Ags.
True, but Secret's not buying back right now.
I think they also agreed. They're like, we don't think you can do Roshan either.
Oh, it's going to be close. They almost have the Aghanim Scepter on Moon, too. That certainly would have helped. Solar Crest is pulling in its weight here.
Yeah, this Rosh took forever, but Puppy, does he have a TP? No, he's not going to TP.
Yeah. They're just giving it up.
a while, but this is a big Roshan.
Yeah.
Now the gold lead set to 4K. Moon can comfortably buy Ags without having to worry about having buyback or not.
The Axe also means the Aegis is more effective on Death Prophet than it was in the past. In the past, you weren't a good Aegis hero because you were just an exorcism buff. That's all you were. But now Aghanim Scepter adds a lot of damage to this Death Prophet when she does have her ultimate on cooldown.
That was such a go-for-it maneuver, by the way.
Yeah.
If it goes poorly, Mineski lose a game right there.
Yep.
When they all bought back. And I thought it was going to go disastrously for them when they ran in 1 by 1.
Oh, yeah.
That's looking a little bit
Dude,
dicey.
Moon TPing in and getting the 4-man silence. I was like, okay.
Oh, Moon.
That's a cool silence, but what are you going to do with it?
Runs after the Tiny, but isn't able to find anything. I think he was just trying to get him out of that area. Because mid one, of course, still has the BKB. And they still have to be cautious on the side of Mineski.
Yeah.
They used a lot of buybacks for that. In fact, they have only 1 up, and it's on Ninja Boogie, and that's because his net worth is so low that as long as the timer isn't up, he'll have it. AC completed by Nisha. They immediately go for the smoke. They might run into the Wraith King here. They've got to be careful.
They're going to dodge the Wraith King. They're going to go for anybody else. If they can actually intercept Mineski here, which they do.
Nisha?
Raging Potato blinks away. They're still going to be able to catch Ninja Boogie. Volley will be able to get it. They don't have to use the Chronosphere here. 2-man silence, but immediately that's going to be cleansed off by Sai. Jump into the air. Eul Scepter.
They want to get out. The numbers disadvantage, I think, is a little bit too rough for them.
Yeah. I mean, without the Ancient Apparition, like, how do you deal with this Omni Knight? I just don't think you can.
Yes, and that's why you live by the 5AA, you die by the 5AA. He's so
true.
easy to kill, but he's so important for the rest of your team.
Ninja Boogie, he came in big time for them in game 1 with his Witch Doctor. He's going to need better positioning.
They really don't want to give up this tower.
They do not, but they just might have to here. 5 seconds up for the Ancient Apparition.
You just cannot get multiple hero chronoed, which is easier said than done. Nisha's got the advantage in positioning, but they're going to back out.
They're actually going to go for it here. Eul Scepter catching the Omni Knight. Follow-up silence, Wraith by Blast, and a Hex both being used. 4 staff after 4 staff.
And the volley from the high ground. This is going to split their fight in half, plus the ET Spirit. They wanted to threaten for that. It looked like a good timing for them. But Secret, they positioned themselves very well, and they've got a DD on their Faceless Void. This is going to force them into a fight, regardless of whether or not Moon has the Aegis.
With the double damage and the Ice Blast used. Oh, they're going to use the Eul Scepter, dispelling off that double damage.
The Ice Blast about to come back up, but first Nisha and Mid One trying to find their opening, but Raging Potato again with a fast blink dagger away. Now Secret have overextended themselves. They're going to try and catch Yapzor. Puppy managing to stomp it. It's Mid One who's going to get caught. Instead, they do have the Ice Blast. Purification goes out. BKB and the Guardian Angel. Bye-bye damage. They can't bring down Mid One anymore. Puppy throws out the Earth Splitter with the Chronosphere as well. It's not going to be able to hit. Can they bring down Moon? It's going to be a close call, but he does fall. Now they're going to turn back into Nico Baby. Never mind, Raging Potato's a better target, but because of the ages, they need to be able to get out. But he's been caught in the shackles. Raging Potato, they have their Heavenly Grace. They're going to be able to save Nisha. A little bit more of the silence. No, it's good enough. The Force Staff gets away. The Force Staffs again come in clutch for Team Secret. Mid One inside the pit. He's ready to go back in, but he has to blink out. It's Raging Potato jumps forward. KP, he's going to be able to get the initiation on Mid One side. He's trying to make his way to be able to bail out Mid One. The Ice Blast cuts him though. They bring down Mid One. He's dead. They look for more. Zai and Yapzor running him down. Hex on one. Ray Fire Blast quite soon on the other. If they can actually get him, double Solar Crest as well. That means that damage from Nico Baby. He's about to bring down the Omni Knight of Zai.
He's still going for the multicast. One more thing.
Stop it.
And they're right in front of the base right now. That gold lead has been completely evaporated. MINESKI have in fact wrested it away from Secret. They will not roll over.
What is happening right now? Moon silence the Mid One so he can't actually get the volley off. I can't believe they're going for this tier 3 without the Exodus, and the buyback goes in their retreat.
And that's 2 core buybacks that you forced out. They weren't able to get any kills. This was a defensive buyback. MINESKI, they're actually up 1K on Secret. The fights last so long and it got so split. You saw Secret, they were on the low ground. It felt like they were going to be just fine. They were force-staffing each other one by one, and then they overstayed their welcome.
Yeah.
If they all just started retreating at that point, they would have been fine.
Yeah.
But what they did was they looked for the fight after.
Because of the exorcism used, they think Chronosphere on Moon, we can go ahead, burst him down. Second life, he won't have the exorcism, but MINESKI still proved to be too strong. And now, the win probability is in their favor as well as the net worth.
I can't even believe this game. It feels like a departure from our previous two, but what a fun one is. I mean, it feels like these two teams just bring out the best in each other.
Oh,
They're willing to fight nonstop. The team fights are what determine it all. You get into these crazy 5-on-5 situations that seem to last forever.
This AC, dude, these Wraith Kings, man, once they have the Midas and Radiance, items just start flowing in everywhere. He's actually going to go for Nullifier next.
And both teams have all their ultis up. Secret, they're looking for the angle right now. Nisha, been heavily graced. He's trying to set.
They want to make sure if he does get stunned, that status resistance will let him get off his BKB.
And Moon nearly has the Aeon Disc. He's sending the courier back. This would be a massive pickup for him. If they can't just burst him through the Chronosphere, you see how tanky he can potentially be. And his ability to come back into the fight after the Yule Scepter is so good.
Crystallis up, Mid One, that's a lot of damage now. The Echo Saber, that provides the disable to slow down to keep them in the volley, but it's really the Daedalus, or in this case, the Crystallis buildup, that's going to deliver that sort of game-ending Chronosphere into volley combo.
Secret have to be so careful, Cap.
Dude,
they use the
they
2
really
core
do.
buybacks. If either of those heroes die at this point...
Oh, look at this. A sneaky little play. Raging Potato trying to finish up that tier 3. Not good enough, though.
Very nearly does. And this Roshan fight, Cap, is going to mean everything to both sides. If Secret decide to take the fight, it'll be without the buyback on the Tiny...
They're going to go for it
or
here.
the Omni Knight, Cap. It'll be 2 core buybacks that they don't have.
And Team Secret, will it be hubris? Will they get caught in this mid lane? A lot of them are behind Yapzor, but not everybody. First defensive force down. You could see MINESKI not going to take the bait here.
They're being patient right now. They don't want to overextend themselves.
They just picked up the Aeon Disc, but the Death Prophet just showed himself on that ward. Secret should know about that saving grace.
Yeah, that's a big item pickup for both teams. Now you can't just blindly Chrono Moon and hope for the best. You have to position it correctly. As we wait with bated breath, Roshan about to spawn, and that's going to mean a mad dash for both teams. And neither of them have buybacks. but it's
Oh,
MINESKI that's limited by
They
gold.
actually had a ward in place. They're going to be able to see that Blink Dagger in. Raging Potato, defensive force tap away, but a volley. Finish him off. Raging Potato down. BKB used by Mid-One and MINESKI. Everybody out.
Roshan, 20 seconds until he's up. What team's going to go for it?
A fast Roshan like this with 90 seconds for Raging a Potato.
IceFrog just
go
wants
for
it. He, just 10 more years of MINESKI versus Secret. What gives the most dramatic situation? It's that 20-second timer on the Roche.
And if they get it, there are going to be so many items coming in for Team Secret. Like the Lotus Orb for Zai, that's going to be crucial because the whole Blink Dagger Death Prophet play is then canceled.
And there's a nullifier on Wraith King.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, this is going to be an explosive team fight.
Dude, he's going for the Orchid. He's going for the Son of Doom
The
build.
Son of Doom.
Shout out to OD
OD
Pixel
Pixel
for that one.
I hope you're watching.
But all of that, right? All of that can go away off of a Lotus Orb or Heavenly Grace coming out from that Omni Knight. They have to hunt Zai down. This really is a game about hunting Zai.
I will say his build, not going for Greaves, has hurt him so much because he doesn't have the ability to remove that silence easily.
Oh,
now they're going for it.
They don't care. Ice Blast in the pit. Moon showing himself at bottom lane. Dude, is MINESKI actually going to fight around this?
This is going to go really quick.
Being in, can they get in there in time? Nico Baby gets vision off into neutral. They're trying to go for Nisha. He's already popped his BKB. Chronosphere to be able to pick up the Aegis and cheese. He's got that. Now he's going to be able to jump over to the side, trying to go for Moon as best as possible. Now time locked out.
Spider ready for the first light.
It might be the Aegis as well. Look at Mid-One. He's TPing back to the shrine right now. He's trying to stay in the fight. Zai's gone. Get out of the river, but Zai's gone.
He doesn't have buyback. And Nico Baby, he's blinked forward if he can get any more. But 104 seconds now for Zai. 2 minutes on his buyback. They've got the numbers advantage.
Aegis and cheese, but for what? No Omni Knight, no Chronosphere,
and a DD rune.
Oh,
how fortuitous for MINESKI.
IceFrog intervenes once again. He said, look, I gave Nisha a double damage rune. He didn't get to use it. You're going to have the same opportunity.
And what can they do with it? They don't have the Exorcism, but they do have the Serpent Wards. They're right in front of your base, Secret. You don't have Chronosphere.
Wards out. Trying to stall right now. That's all Secret is looking to do.
They have Aegis, but it feels so useless when you don't have Chronosphere.
Yeah, what can a Void do without his ultimate?
And that's going to be Rax.
That is definitely going to be Rax. Can MINESKI do more? Or are they going for the tier 2 mid? Yeah.
No, just calm down.
Yeah.
Gather yourself.
Are you talking to me or MINESKI right now?
Both.
But I'm about to lose my mind where this game.
I can't handle it.
MINESKI. 2 siege wagons. A bunch of the boys. And a tier 2 falls. Let's see some shrines.
They are going to get so much gold because of that fight.
Yeah.
They're going to grab the shrine here. This shrine, once Roshan's out of the equation, the other shrine doesn't matter as much.
Yeah.
This shrine controls the triangle. It makes it really hard for you to get outside your base and farm. And it just forces Secret to sort of hole up.
25% backtrack.
Oh.
Nisha win for it.
Oh, he's gone for it. All right. Let's do it. Let's see what it does.
What if you backtrack a crit? It's the same situation here with the Wraith King.
Maybe he just feels like the...
man.
All right, you know why? I think it's because he thinks that his Chronosphere isn't very good against the Wraith King or the Death Prophet at this point.
Yeah.
I think he's made the executive decision. I can't deal with these two heroes. The better talent to dealing with these two heroes is the backtrack talent.
Yeah.
And Zai needs the Lotus Orb. He's been waiting for it for so long, but the problem is his buyback's about to come back up, but he won't have the gold for it. So he's put into this weird position where he can't teamfight without an ability to get rid of the silence, which is why I feel like he needed Greaves in this game so badly. It's, of course, in hindsight, because you want to get phase boots for the laning phase, but it feels so rough to fight without it.
I mean, is Zai going to have a buyback? I think you might buy out the Lotus Orb.
Maybe if you think you're invincible anyway. He definitely is. He's waiting around that area for a reason.
I mean, I think that's the only way to solve some of the team fight issues. Oh, Jesus. That's a lot of gold. That's a Hannah Midas multicast, Brock.
And he's got the 40 strength.
The 40 strength.
Boy's a beast.
Attacking a third hero that Chronosphere is just not going to do shit against. KP right now is walking around with 3,600 HP, 1 billion armor. I think that's what that adds up to.
I can't believe we're in this position right now. We're Secret 8K down. Cap, they were most people's favorites. MINESKI, bottom 2.
Yeah.
They're about to join Infamous potentially in the top 8. Liquid Dota, where are you at? You had these 2 teams as your bottom 2.
And look at that.
But the team fight is all that matters. Yapsor
They're going to be
pushes
able
forward.
to telekinesis onto KP. The first initiation, the Shivas, the Chronosphere. It only catches the back line. He didn't actually lock down Moon. He will be able to finish off Raging Potato, who doesn't have half buyback. KP is almost dead, but look at that. Trapped inside the trees. The Guardian Angel barely goes offside. He's being hunted right now. The Ice Blast takes him out. Nisha looking to be able to finish off KP, but he's so tanky. The Ogre's good. Mid one, pummeling them with the volley. Trying to be able to finish off Nico Baby as best as possible, but Moon, he's getting good access to some damage. Faithful to be able to finish off the Ogre. He does have buyback. Mid one, he also dies as well. Moon's able to chase him down into the high ground. Nisha, man, fighting against Ninja Boogie. He gets 1. Can he get 2? He gets 3, but no. He's gonna die here. He does have the Aegis on his second life though. Nico Baby and KP sit on top of him. They need to be able to chase him down. Ray Fire Blast 1. Fire Blast 2. Ice Blast in. Force down. That's not gonna hit.
The tree volley over the top.
They're gonna be able to turn. They're gonna be able to fight. Can they bring down Moon? The Ice Blast stolen by Ansar.
1 second for the blink on Nico Baby.
And he gets away. The Avalanche doesn't hit him. Now it's KP's turn.
And this was KP's buyback.
They have the Silence Stone.
The counter
Yule Scepter being countered by the Lotus Sword. Shiva's out. 3 versus 4. Nico Baby. There's the Nullfire trying to finish off the Faceless Void. But again, the Force Staff is going to be good enough.
Moves in the middle of everything.
Nisha has a BKB though. They running out of physical damage. Nico Baby's trying to go for mid one instead. But Moon, he's being checked down. 1 second. He's dead. Fable.
He doesn't have buyback. He doesn't have buyback. He was 1 second away from the Yules.
Nico Baby, he'll be able to at least get Puppy, but the rest is Secret. They're not tanky enough. They can't actually go to the second life of the Wraith King.
But 1 second and Zai is about to be alive. Secret in a great position now. No buyback for 106 seconds. 74 seconds on the deck for the Ogre. They've got to make something of this. What a turnaround for them as they barely hold in that fight. If that Death Prophet gets Yules off, they're going to win that fight. And she was 1 second away from it. The target fire precision on Secret. 1K gold lead now for MINESKI. Oh, my heart.
Oh, they're trying to execute the Faceless Void. They know they are at a disadvantage. But again, the Force Staffs. Oh, he's coming in.
He's got the 2 supports.
Onto the 2 supports with an Ice Blast, with an Earth Splitter. 5 behind MINESKI. That's 4 dead. Make it 5. The reincarnation. 1 versus 5. Oh, baby, Nico, baby. You got to get back to the fountain. And you've got to stall Secret. Because once again, they're going for your throne. Telekinesis pullback, mid one, toss him over to Nisha.
And he's just trying to waste time right now in Secret. And they're obliging right now. They're walking away from the tower. They don't have Glyph though. And this is going to be a hard hold. There's no buybacks. He's going to have to do this 1v5.
They did it before, 2 versus 5. 10 seconds on for KP, Nullifier. On to Puppy, looking to try and execute the captain of Team Secret, but they can't finish him off. He's still trying to go for it.
Secret's just ignoring him.
Dancing around. Nico Baby does have the reincarnation, so he's man fighting here. He even wants to die. He needs the AoE Wraith Fire Blast. That's why Secret aren't finishing him off. The Guardian Angel, good for the throw. It's exposed. Tear Force down. Nico Baby is trying to finish up anybody he can. But Nisha swinging away.
They don't feel nothing. They have it.
Throwing it. Team Secret has done it. Another comeback.
Unbelievable.
Victory for Team Secret.
I can't believe they pulled this one out. The fight lasted so long. Barely able to pull it out. And Secret, they went for the win when mid one went for the buyback to help out the rest of his team. That could have been the decisive moment where MINESKI wins. They sense blood. They all fought back to try to get that fight done. And instead, it is Secret that walk away with the victory.
What makes champions? It's the difference between good and great. Not what you do in practice, but when the lights are on, when you're in the booth, when thousands upon tens of thousands of eyes are watching you and your backs are against the wall. Team Secret, 2 times in this series, had their backs against the wall. The DPC champions. That is why they were the number 1. That is why the way that they were able to come back. And that is why they will move forward against MINESKI.
And all the props in the world, by the way, to MINESKI. They showed us such great Dota. I mean, they made this an absolute monster of a series.
Southeast Asia has just had its heart broken. And fans around the world at this point, MINESKI, have made a lot of fans with this series. They are sad to see MINESKI go. I am so sad to see them go. But somebody's got to be eliminated. It's a harsh, harsh competition, the international.
Whew. I'm tired after that.
I'm exhausted.
I feel so
I can't imagine how Team Secret and MINESKI feel right now.
Look at Nisha.
God.
He's smiling ear to ear.
Team Secret, congratulations to them, MINESKI. Oh, you got to feel for them. You got to feel for them. But we have more of the international coming up. Upper brackets up next. Panel. What a series.
Oh, Cap, yeah, definitely quite a series. And I think we all agree with you in quite a few ways. We're going to break it all down, talk about that game, and get ready for the next one. My name is Rich. I'm going to be your host. I'm joined by Sin, Trent, and we have Dove here. I mean, where do we even start with that one? MINESKI, they play so well throughout the entirety of the series. The first game, it looks like they're going to take it. The third game looks similar in some ways.